Chapter 9. The Forest Within. After returning from the enchanted forest, Leo's life went back to normal. School, homework, meals, sleep. Days passed, but a hollow space remained in his heart, as if he'd lost something incredibly important. He often found himself staring out the window, watching the wind gently sway the tree branches. That familiar sky now seemed strangely distant. He began to wonder if his magical journey had just been a dream. Then, late one night, he dreamed of the wishing woods again. This time, the forest was shrouded in thick fog, and the starlight was dim. He ran alone on the dark, muddy ground, shouting, but there was no reply. His footsteps echoed in the emptiness, a lonely sound like an echo from his very soul. The familiar figure, Lull, didn't appear. He woke with a start, and on his pillow lay a single golden feather. It shimmered faintly, like a lingering trace of that magical journey. Leo reached out to touch it, and the feather instantly dissolved into a wisp of light, vanishing into the air. Am I missing it too much? The next day at dinner, the familiar scene unfolded again. Dad ate while scrolling on his phone. Mom sighed silently, and the atmosphere at the table was heavier than cold soup. Leo, your teacher wants to talk tomorrow. How should we arrange it? Dad suddenly asked. Mom frowned. Didn't you say you're working overtime tomorrow? Dad's voice dropped. Well, you can take time off, can't you? It's not like you're the only busy one. For a moment, the air froze. Leo lowered his head, quietly saying, You don't have to go. I can talk to her myself. No one replied. The clinking of dishes continued, but the sound was more jarring than the silence. That night, he dreamed of the wishing woods again. He stood before a dark bridge, its far end swallowed by thick fog. Behind the mist, the familiar forest shimmered faintly. He heard it, the voice he had longed for. It was Lull. You completed your tasks, and you understood the wishes of others. But what about your wish? Leo looked down and saw that the wooden token in his hand still glowed softly, as if it had been waiting for his answer all along. He mumbled, I don't know anymore. I used to just want Mom and Dad to stop fighting, but they're still fighting. Lull's voice was like wind rustling through leaves, softly saying, Do you still want this wish to come true? Yes, but I'm a little tired. Silence settled like a still lake. A moment later, the sound of water gurgling beneath the bridge grew louder, and the bridge itself creaked, as if unable to bear the weight. A true wish isn't just hoping the world will change, it's being willing to change yourself. And even if you don't know the outcome, you're still willing to choose to believe. Are you willing? Leo looked up at the fog. He took a breath and took his first step. He walked onto the bridge, his steps unsteady, but determined. The wind was strong, the fog was thick, and every step felt like he was pushing through the confusion and fear in his own heart. Finally, as he reached the center of the bridge, the fog gradually dispersed. Lull stood on the other side, its gaze still reassuring. And beside it, there was another figure. Himself, a version of himself with eyes that sparkled with a mix of vulnerability and courage. In that moment, he understood. This wasn't just a dream. It was the deepest wishing woods of his heart. The next day, Leo woke up early, without lingering in bed. He quietly poured a cup of warm milk for his dad and brewed a comforting tea for his mom, silently placing them on the table without a word. His parents looked surprised, but didn't ask any questions, just gave gentle nods. That afternoon after school, he took his teacher's hand and said, Teacher, could we maybe not have a parent-teacher meeting just yet? There are some things I want to talk to Mom and Dad about first by myself. That evening, Leo gathered his courage and called his parents into the living room. He held the wooden token tightly in his hand. Even though it no longer glowed, he knew it was still bearing witness. I once wished for magic that would make you stop fighting, he said, looking up, his eyes steady. But then I realized it's not about magic. It's about each of us being willing to change. Mom's eyes welled up, and Dad lowered his head slightly. I know you both work really hard, and maybe things can't change all at once, but I'm willing to start. Can you try too? After a long silence, Dad nodded. Okay, we'll try together. Mom gently squeezed Leo's hand. Thank you, sweetie. That night, Leo dreamed of the wishing woods again. It was no longer shrouded in mist, but filled with starlight and a soft breeze. He saw Lull standing in the center of the forest, softly saying to him, Your wish is sprouting, not because of magic, but because you bravely chose to love, to change. This time, Leo didn't look back. He answered in his heart, I know, this isn't the end, it's the beginning, and I'll always keep it safe.